story. I told you that a month ago, September 7th, the merger happened. 70,000 EMC legacy employees now became DELL employees. One of the activities that was supposed to happen is that we were going to change all of our devices to DELL. So a couple of days ago, we received an email. DELL had something that nobody paid attention because it started with DELL, saying, click here to receive your device. Which of the 40,000 EMC employees actually noticed that it was not from DELL? Which of the 40,000? 95% of the security breaches actually happen at your end device by people like you and I. And the threats are contextual. The threats are aware that a merger happened and that you're going to switch your devices and that you are going to take it from there. And so we have a conundrum here. The conundrum is that from one hand, we actually have expanded the exposure of your enterprise because your workforce is mobile. On the other hand, we want higher levels of trust in order to operate because we are enterprises. And on the other hand, the public is demanding more transparency on everything that we do. So security must transform. How did we do security in the past? We used the medieval approach. What was the medieval approach that we had? You built a castle, what did you build around? A lake, right? No, a pond, water, what do you call it? you put a fossa. So the idea is that you actually protect the perimeter, and if somebody actually crosses the perimeter and enters the castle, you assume that the person is safe. So what did the cyber attack people actually did? They managed to get in and bypass the water. And then now, once they are in, you have full exposure. So security must transform because what we have to do, besides protecting the perimeter, is to actually analyze and observe the behavior of everybody that is in. And you should trust no one, and you should analyze everyone. Because if you are actually going to protect the perimeter, where does the perimeter end and where does the perimeter start? Well, we are sending people to the moon and we are sending people to Mars. So the best news for the chief security officers is that Pluto was voted off the planet's island and you have one less planet to worry about. But other than that, you are in big trouble. So what security has been doing is that we are trying to actually analyze the behavior of the people and we detect anomalies. And security is actually becoming very much business-centric and business contextual. Remember the result of sending emails that are related to business events that actually happen together with you. It actually needs to become more predictive and more intelligent and based on your risk. And last but not least, you have to transform IT. And what is happening in IT, how projects were done before, first you define the scope of the project, then you defined how much it was going to cost, and then you said, well, for this scope and that budget, I can deliver in 5 years. Wasn't that how projects were done? Yes, I have bad news for you. Today, we first define the time to market. We need a product in 3 months. We need a product in 2 months. We need a product in 1 month. Then we say how much money we can put, and that defines the scope of what is going on. So you have an IT organization that was actually designed to work from 3 to 1, that has to work from 1 to 3. And that is the divide between IT and innovation. In the last 15 years, we actually focused on an IT-centric behavior to digitize the systems of record. All we wanted was to actually capture every single transaction. We wanted to automate life And we did that very, very well. But in the next 15 years, we need to respond to the needs of the business. And what are the needs of the business? We don't know. Nobody knows. Because technology is increasing at 1,000 times every 15 years. Because competitors no longer have the same barriers that you did. So what is happening is that the IT business, the $1 trillion IT business, was designed for traditional application, the systems of records that you have. And now you are under pressure to invest in what is called the next generation, the cloud-native applications, the applications that are going to change the user experience of the workforce that is transforming, and the applications that need to deliver the same security levels that you had when you had your traditional IT. The blue, the traditional applications, and the green, the cloud-native applications, are in shock because the organizations were not designed to do both. Let me ask you a question. You know why God was able to build the earth, create the world in 6 days and rest on the seventh? For two reasons. First, he was God, he can do anything. And second of all, he had no legacy to deal with. He could start from scratch, right? And then God is asked to do the green, but he doesn't have to worry about the blue. Then you can do it in 6 days. So what happens is that we have to learn how to live in a world that is hybrid, that has your traditional applications and your cloud-native applications at the same time. You really need to continue your enterprise to manage your client server, your servers, your storage area network, your storage arrays with the same level of SLAs, and at the same time, concurrently, you actually have to manage your cloud-native environment. And your cloud-native environment looks very much different from the previous one. Why? Because it doesn't have that separation between the client and the server. It doesn't have the storage network in between. In your cloud-native application, you have this concept of a node or an appliance where you have storage and processing close together, tied together, very close to each other. You have flash storage, solid-state drive, the same storage that you have on your phones. And instead of actually scaling up, bringing servers and storages that are faster and bigger and more powerful, in your cloud-native applications, the way you grow is by adding more nodes, which is called scale-out. And you have to be able to manage both environments in the same way. And guess what? You have to deliver the same SLAs and the same quality of a service, because at the end of the day, you need to be an enterprise-ready IT department. So we believe that we are going to live in this world that you have to, have both worlds, and the way that you are going to manage the situation is by having a broad set of portfolio. You are going to have server and storage devices in different form factors, in different shapes, that are going to live and coexist in your environment at the same time. You are going to actually buy devices that are optimized for the traditional, and even in the traditional, devices that are optimized either for performance or for capacity. For performance, if you actually want to do a transactional database, and for capacity, if you actually want to do archival, or if you want to do backup. You are going to have in your cloud-native performance devices and solutions that you buy for performance, like storage-defined, software-defined storage, like Scale.io and ECS, or you are going to have to manage by capacity, and you have object stores of other types. And these are going to coexist. So now let me talk to you a little bit. Don't you worry about the time, because I'm from Brazil. We don't care about the clock. We didn't invent the clock. We criticize the Swiss for doing so. But in any case, so let's talk a little bit about converged infrastructure. And I'll tell you what converged infrastructure is all about. Do you know how we vote for popes? Yes, a very, very simple procedure. You take the cream of la cream, the people that know and understand the best. You lock them in a room from the outside. You take the room, and the communication mechanism is through smoke, right? If it is dark, you continue lock. If it is white, I open the door. So far so good? Converged infrastructure is absolutely the same process. People in IT had the conundrum that some people knew about servers, others knew about storage, others knew about network, others knew about virtualization, others knew about processors. And you tried using democracy to put those people and make them collaborate to define the architecture of your data center. And each one of them knew better. Converged infrastructure is the approach that you take all of those people in a room, the cream of la cream, you lock them from the outside, and you say, until you find the best architecture of how to integrate storage, server, network, virtualization, all the processing, optimize to use the least amount of flow, the least amount of cabling, you consume the least amount of energy, and create the least amount of heat, nobody gets out. Converged infrastructure is the result of that magic process. It's the process of what you get the best out of the best. And you say you have to collaborate, and you have to tell us how to integrate those devices together. And why is that good for us? Because we just transferred all the risk and all the work from you to actually integrate all the pieces together to us. Because we believe that since we have the engineers that engineer those devices in the first place, they should be able to know how to best integrate themselves. And converged infrastructure is about us selling to you a solution as opposed to the pieces. It's about transferring risk and work from you to us. At EMC, we take this very, very seriously, and at DELL EMC, we are doubling the investment on converged infrastructures. And those infrastructures are designed as one, they are manufactured as one, they are tested as one, they are sold as one, managed as one. You have a single line of a number to call if you have a problem. You shouldn't. If it is DELL EMC, they never break. And you have the problem reconciled. Converged infrastructures range from all the needs. Why? Because you're going to have the traditional, and because you're going to have the cloud native. In the cloud native space, you can buy an appliance with a single node. In that node, you can put a platform as a service on top, and you can implement DevOps, which would be another 1 hour presentation. And then, once you actually define and accept the fact that you have those different devices, the next step is to decide where to put them. Are you going to put them on-prem, or are you going to put them off-prem? Are you going to put them in a public cloud, or are you going to put them in a location from a service provider that you trust that will manage those devices for you? We view those choices as, first of all, choices that you should be able to make, and we feel that we should support all types of choices for you to make. And we support all of them. We believe that we need to work very closely with the service providers, and we do, through vCloud Air and through vCloud Air Network from VMware, where we enable the local service providers of your choice and of your trust to have an environment that looks very much like yours. We believe that the world is going to be hybrid, that in the modern IT, you are going to have the traditional infrastructure, the cloud-native infrastructure, and you are going to have have to decide how much you want to do on-prem and how much you want to do off-prem. And the fastest way to get there is by modernizing your infrastructure. You have to modernize, you have to go towards converged infrastructure, you have to go towards automating all your processes, and you have to actually transform the applications and how you handle IT to get the economies of scale. With the modern data center, with Flash, with cloud-enabled, with scale-out and software-defined devices and software-defined technologies, and the protection and trust, you will be able to move at the speed of technologies and allow your organizations to evolve. The future is in search of three things: efficiency, speed, and agility. Why has DELL and EMC merged? Because IT organizations are seeking a partner on technology providers. We believe that, technology leadership is a team sport. And we believe that we are much better together. And we believe that together we can accomplish things that no one else can. And that's why we created a powerhouse of technology that is far to none. We are combining, from DELL's perspective, from DELL's world-class global supply chain that delivers technology for all types of organizations, with EMC, that is a leading innovation powerhouse, innovation engine that is tailored and targeted for the most demanding enterprise, for the most demanding organizations, and together we will be the world leader, in delivering scale,